Hi, good afternoon. Hope you're doing well. I am doing fantastic. Cleaning up my craft room. It's always fun to get to, I call it work in my craft room. So I'm getting my device up so that I can see. Let me see, they've changed where you do your, I want to turn off my captions. I don't like reading what I'm saying. Alright, this is Mary Lou Foster. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I am going live today to show you this cute card made with the Trucking Along bundle. This is the punch that we say broke the internet. This Trucking Along Builder Punch is currently unavailable until October the 16th. But I'm going to show you that it doesn't take 2 seconds to cut this little truck out by hand. You could build a truck and use the extra pieces, but for the card I'm making today, we don't have to do that. So if you're joining me live, please comment that you're here so I know that I'm talking to live people. And follow along. This is a card that we made in a recent card class. I've got tons of the kits left because I made extra. I was going to show you that this stamp set, it's a photopolymer stamp set, which means it's the clear. There are 26 stamps in this stamp set, which is sometimes a little bit overwhelming. And when I set it out for the ladies to make the cards, they're like, wow, that's a lot of stamps. The cool thing about it is they give what I call an outline stamp, and we're going to use the Christmas tree today. And then they give you a solid stamp to fill in the color so that you're not really having to do it by hand. The truck has an outline and a solid. It's got a stamp for the wheels. It has the little shadow. There are sentiments. One thing I like about this stamp set, it's not just for Christmas. If you will notice, there are images of surfboard, palm tree. There are Christmas presents, flowers for spring. I was working on kind of showing you one for fall. I need thank you notes, and so I'm like, I bet I can make some thank you notes with some of these. I will stamp the truck a different color, probably maybe green. The image they give you to fill the flowers fills just the flowers, but you could take a marker or a blending pen and very quickly just touch those leaves and make them green. So there's lots of options there. Sending you sunny thoughts, special delivery, farm fresh. So this could be one that you could add to your set. Oh, I didn't bring the card in here. I should have brought the card in here that my grandson made. He made me a card with this set. Will you bring me Mason's card? I'll get my husband to bring it. Alright, so today we're going to make Christmas cards. This is, it's September, but it's never too early to get started. We're using Garden Green as our card base, and it's a landscape top side fold card. I call it side fold. And I'm going to kind of move this out of the way. The paper that's on here. So my grandson helped his mommy out, and when Papa was in the hospital, he sent get well cards, special delivery. And he sent mine is how do you like the new stamp set? But I mean, I'm telling you, look, he used all of the stamps. He used the shadow die, he used the cloud dies, and the one he did for Papa was a blue truck, because after all, and then sending you sunny thoughts. He even put a sun in the corner. Get well soon, Papa, love, Mason. So how about that? Creativity. He is 11. Oh, I just now noticed there's grass in there in addition to the little shadow. So there's lots of little detail. Move that guy out of the way a little bit. The paper, as I was saying, is out of, yes it is. I've got some right here. I think it's the Winter Meadow. I'm not going to open that package. That's my unopened package. But I'm pretty sure that's correct. Because I wanted to start featuring some of the pretty papers. Go ahead and mount this one on here while I'm talking, to give my ladies a taste of what's available. And we'll be using the Winter Meadow in an upcoming class, October the 12th. The information will come on that just a little bit closer. Kind of posting things ahead a little bit. It's scheduled already. We're taking a cruise, so I needed to have some things planned and ready to go for when we get back. I'm using the did I make myself notes? I did not. One of the layering dies. I'm not going to mount that on there yet. I'm just kind of getting my pieces organized. It makes a little bit more sense when you know which direction you're going here. And where's my Festive Christmas? Wishing you a Festive Christmas. I maybe borrowed that one and it's in another set, but I can certainly build my truck. So in their card kit they had an extra piece of just basic white cardstock to stamp their truck on. And I always kind of caution them and say, sort of plan it, like put your truck more towards that right hand end so you still have a handle to hold on to. Don't just pop it in the middle of your piece of cardstock. I tried to give them enough to not have to use a sticky note. My truck is cherry cobbler, and you've got two options. You can stamp it full strength, which is what I did on my card, or you can stamp it off. I'm going to stamp this one full strength, and I probably will not be able to talk and stamp at the same time because there's a little bit of lining up to do. That's pretty good. So what I lined up with is the opening in the window, because I felt like if I had the window and then make sure that you're even. And it's okay if the truck didn't stamp perfectly solid, because this is sort of a vintage truck, and you know, they begin to rust and age with time, and they're not going to stay. Well, I knew I had another card. This was one that I had made as an inspiration card, and I did touch up the leaves. I added clouds, I added the fencing, and Wink of Stella. I don't think you're going to be able to see on the video the little bit of shine that Wink of Stella gives to this truck, but it's pretty cute. Oh, you can. I can see it. Yep. So that's a hint for kind of how to dress it up. So we're going to punch it out. I'm going to stamp another one right quick and show you how quickly, even if you don't have this punch, you can wait till October the 16th, and I would hurry. Although I think probably the flurry is over, because we get to pre-order. So even while we were doing our pre-order, this crazy bundle, sometimes the punch wasn't available, so I bought the stamp set, and before I could even almost get my order closed, they found some more punches somewhere. So Susan and I took turns ordering. You order 2 punches, and then I'll order 2 stamp sets, and we'll put them together and we'll have a bundle. So we ended up doing ours in pieces. We didn't get the bundle price, or I didn't. I think she did, but I didn't care. Sometimes when you want something, you just go for it. I am giving this little truck some sparkle. Another cool thing about the Wink of Stella, you can use it as a blending brush just a little bit if you want to fill in the color some. And I don't want to go where the white is on that, because that's some detail that they included on that stamp. Technically, it's an indentation in the stamp, so that that part of the stamp doesn't touch the ink pad. Now, I did the truck first because I'm going to need it, but let's do its wheels for positioning some of the other elements on our label. Now, the wheels, they're really kind of confusing. You look at them and you kind of think they go this way, and it looks like eyes, the eyebrows and the eyes, but they don't. They're more like smiles. And they're made, the center hubcap and center hubcap are your guides, and if you get them lined up, it'll line up the smile part on your wheels. If you don't want to do it that way, I also provided one of our black Stampin' Right markers. It has a very small the nib end that you could use to color in your wheels, but really doing it that way, this way, is really quick. Alright, we're going to do Pebbled Path for the shadow underneath the truck. I love this. It's not brown, it's not gray. I think Pebbled Path is a great name. Now, in planning your layout, you kind of have to leave yourself space for your tree to go in the back of the truck. No, I think I should go straight line up closer and then move the truck out of the way. You're just using it to line up. Yeah. And then we're going to be putting it on dimensionals, so you can kind of imagine how a shadow would be created. And I need to get my garden green. I have cleaned up my stuff, and I did too good of a job. Put it all away. So what do you think so far? Now, we always have this discussion when you have these two-step stamps. Which do you stamp first? I like to stamp my outline first. Other demonstrators stamp the middle first. So as you can tell, there's not really a right way and a wrong way to do it. So it looks kind of funny. But see, I can position that truck then to make it look like the tree is in the back. I'm just making a stack of, and if I were to stamp, ooh, that's the yucky side. If I were to stamp that tree first generation or straight off the ink pad, it would be dark like my outline, and you wouldn't really be able to see. Let me show you. You wouldn't be able to see the outline because they're both the same color. So let me stamp this, and then let me ink this back up. And if I stamp it, you lose your definition. See, you can't really tell where the outline stamp is. But if I, oops, yucky. If I stamp the outline, that's first generation. And this is a great way to get more tones and colors. And then stamp the second generation. Look at the difference. So even if you only have one color of blue, you could even stamp it the third generation and it gets even lighter. So sometimes if you want kind of give the perception of depth, you could do that. That's a little tip for how to get value out of your products. Oops, I'm going to need that because I need my first generation just to stamp off. That's what it's called. And then I hate to kind of cover it up, but I got to be able to see where I'm stamping. And then stamp. And you have a tree. I'm going to close this up. And the Festive Christmas. I am not sure which tub that's in. It may be in this one. I borrow stuff out. Nope, not that one. Well, we know what it's going to be, and I'm just going to have to skip that part. I'm going to go ahead and mount him on his dimensionals. Let's put one at the back, one at the front, one at the back, and I'm going to put one here at the top. So have you started your Christmas cards yet? I had ladies ready to go in July, and I'm like, I'm not ready to do that yet, but we'll get going. So I'm offering that extra class in October, and it's only Christmas cards with the Winter Meadow collection. We'll make 6 cards, 2 of 3 designs, so that'll be a great start. They got to make this card in class. I used the dies out of those layering dies to cut that tag to hang at the bottom. I'm going to go ahead and mount this. I'm trying to decide what I'm going to put on the inside. I had a strip of paper and I don't know where it went. That's what we decorated the inside of this one with. Wishing you a season of cheer. And I had that stamp set. Let's get this. Get the liner. You may notice it's not exactly 4 by 5 1/4. I've started cutting them a little different size, and you can get 5 out of a sheet if you do that. Alright, so we're ready to, this just gets stuck down directly onto the card front. You've popped up the truck, so there is no sense in popping up the label also. I will post a list of the supplies. I'll give cutting instructions, so I'll post a link to my blog with that information, so you'll have it to refer back to. And I'm going to look for that stamp set, or that stamp. Don't know what it's been with it. Here's wishing you a season of cheer for the inside. We're going to stamp it in garden green because don't stamp everything in black. I like to open my cards up and see the color. You know what? I got ink on there, and I don't want to accidentally get ink on the open card. Okay. Didn't ink up real evenly. I guess I need to re-ink that ink pad. Clean off some of these. Getting quite a collection over here. Alrighty. I've laid it out somewhere. It's probably right here in front of me and I can't see it. The wishing you a festive Christmas. It's not in the stamp case. So, there is a tag to stamp it on. It's back on the front. And the tag that goes under it. And it is mounted on dimensionals so that it's up off the card front. Well, I'll post a picture of the finished card. Let's keep decorating our inside. I'm not real happy with just leaving it. You know what I may do? How about if we do some of the trees. Yep, I'm thinking we'll just use the trees here along the bottom to create a border. That will be cute. Now, I'm going to stamp off but I'm going to get my yucky paper to do that on, because I don't want to do it on my grid paper. I'm trying to keep this grid paper clean. That won't last very long. I know me. Oh, didn't get it inked. Good thing about the clear stamps like this, you can tell when you don't have them inked up very good, because I could see that this bottom branch right here was very light. That's pretty cute. I need some red now. How am I going to add my red? Let's see if we can figure this out. What do we have in here? Well, presents, of course. And we'll just steal a block. Let's do them in black. We'll just get a little carried away here. And I'll show you how we're going to put the pop of red in there. Because there is a detail stamp for this one that adds the ribbons to those. And we're going to use cherry cobbler. And remember, I told you if you stamp off, where's the top? I'll lay it way over here. Yep, I'm getting creative. So I may have to stick my head in your way so I can see. It looks like that's good. And there. See, I stamped it and then I stamped it the second time. So my ribbons were a little bit lighter. And oh yeah, that's pretty cute. It might be a little much, but I feel bad that I can't finish the front. But I'll have to find my, well, I'm going to take those off. And for embellishments, I used the iridescent rhinestone basic jewels, because these, the word iridescent, it picks up the colors based on what it's around. So even though on the package they look clear, you put them on something, and to me they kind of got a little bit of a pink green. So what do you think? That is, whoops, our card using the Trucking Along bundle. Clean up some of this stuff out of the way and show you the stamp set again. Like I said, 26 images in there. And then the punch, it will come back in, and I would recommend being ready to purchase so that you can get your own bundle to make cute Christmas cards. So that was all I had for you today. I appreciate your time. Thanks for watching, and see you next time. Have a great day.